We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from HAB sauce, it is the Machismo Reaper. And by that, they of course are meaning in the sense of the Reaper representing death. So the death, the killer of machismo, which I feel like, so on a conceptual level, yes, I fully support that. That's great. No question about it in my mind. That is a thing that probably should die, honestly. However, the name also suggests, or at least implies, as far as I'm concerned, a level of heat. So we will see about that. We won't be speaking about the dynamics from a sociological perspective. I will spare you that. We will be talking about the this as to whether or not it lives up to the suggested heat hype. So we start off with red serranos, then we have pineapple, red wine vinegar, peaches, tangerine juice, garlic, Carolina Reaper mash, soy sauce, ginger, lemon lime juice, water, brown sugar, celery salt. We have salt and we have celery salt. Okay. We have spices, red and black pepper and paprika, lemongrass, basil, and yuzu. So, oddly enough, we don't have any habaneros. This is maybe one of the few sauces in their lineup that doesn't have habaneros. But habaneros was, of course, where the name of the sauce company itself came from. So, if you're like me, I looked at this ingredient panel just to make sure there was not onions in it or something I couldn't eat, as it's strictly a food intolerance / allergens level. But looking at it now, we can see there is a lot of umami here, but it is very, very, very Asian-y ingredients. Things like soy sauce. Things like, I would make the case for ginger. Definitely for lemongrass. Absolutely for yuzu. And basil, I would say, so basil and garlic in this context, I think lend a little bit more to the sort of Asiatic slant that this sauce sort of, ingredient-wise at least, is going to have imparting into the actual flavor notes. So let's take a look at it here. I was hoping for kind of when I saw peaches, I got a little excited because I was like, oh, you can never have too many. Fruit-based sweet hots I seem to go through the most of. And this one is one as well, but not in the way that you might normally think. So we have this sort of it reminds me a bit of the, like a diaper filling, like you might see there. I don't love this color. It's this sort of light brown, ishy color. I don't like this color. This is not what I would say is a particularly appetizing color. There is some chunks of the fruit. So we have the pineapple, we have, and the peaches as well. So, wait, pineapple is the pineapple, right? And not, yeah. So the pineapple and the peaches a bit here, but I don't, the look of this is not what I would say is a pleasant one. And actually, I'm getting a lot of the smell rolling off of this. And it is, well, I think it kind of points to some of the issues I have with the flavor of that. But we're not going to get into that while I'm standing here holding the spoon talking. So let's dive on in, shall we? So, oh yeah. Mouthfeel is definitely like a fruit-based sweet hot. We get a lot of bitterness from the Reapers. It has a weird sort of flavor by itself. It actually isn't. We got some garlic notes in there. It's not horrible by itself, actually. But it's almost like it definitely, I would say, occupies kind of its own space. And that presents a bit of a problem because where do you put it? Like, there's a lot of Asian ingredients where I might go with that, but I don't know that I would say that peaches and pineapple are going to be super good there. Like, I don't know that that's really what you're going to want. It's definitely, I'm leery that it's whether or not something I want, to be honest. So, heat-wise, I guess I should address that since I made such a call to attention to it in the beginning of the video. Heat-wise, it's a solid 2. It's the hottest thing in their lineup, to be sure, but I would not give this more than a 2 for me. So, it definitely has got a bit of a punch to it, though. Like, there's some heat there. We'll see if I can get more heat out of it here as we put it on stuff, but part of the issue I have with this is just trying to figure out where it's supposed to go. There's not really guidance on the website either. So to me, so here's something I happen to have. I don't know how, I usually buy strips. I don't know how, but I somehow bought chicken patties. So this is all that's left of these particle jobbies right here. So we'll just throw this on there. I really, like, nothing. I get that trying to add umami by throwing Asian ingredients and stuff, but this one, honestly, it seems like they got thrown a little bit haphazardly. I just don't. This doesn't connect with me and with specific types of food where I might use it, I guess. So I would like to know what they had intended this to be used for. Because it doesn't work especially well as a fruit-based sweet hot, even though it's kind of how I'm using it here. Fruit-based sweet hots and fried foods, magnificent together. It is the wrong ingredients to be used on Asian food. So, I don't know. I can't understand for the life of me what they're trying to do with this sauce. It's so baffling. And it's got these herbaceous notes to it. The lemongrass and the basil. And I don't understand why. Like, what are we trying to get to? I mean, it's not altogether an unpleasant sauce or anything. It's just that the flavors like, what are we doing? I mean, I can kind of see soy sauce instead of salt. That's probably fine. But then the celery salt, like I said, lemongrass, basil, yuzu's, like, that's fine. I don't know, it is weird to me. I just don't, I don't think this is a cohesive sauce. I think a lot of times people, you might have done like me and they watched a bunch of Yan Can Cook, Martin Yan show, and yes, there's a lot of Asian influence that has infiltrated, American food, happily, I would add. But just kind of adding a whole bunch of it like this, it doesn't seem aimed at any direction. Maybe you wanted to make a hotter sauce with Reaper, but what is this for? What are we meant to be pairing this with? It's another one of those that I think makes some over challenges. I've spent 3.5-ish ounces, maybe 4, almost 4, trying to figure out what to do with this. I can't add it to noodles. I can't think of a time I've ever had ramen and went, what this ramen needs is some tropical fruit. I really need some peaches in my ramen. And there's enough of a fruity nature to it that kind of precludes that, but there's too many stray things in it to be strictly a fruit-based sweet hot. Some of the lemongrass or soy, it'll just be like, ugh. I think a lot of people are like, well, hey, nobody's ever thought about throwing this in there. I think a lot of people come up with combinations of flavors where you want to be new and inventive, something somebody else is not doing, which is fine, but I think the course of human history is very long. And I am very sure somebody has already tried that at some point. And I'm sure there's a reason that they decided not to do that anymore. There's kind of a reason that everybody came up with what we're doing, how we flavor foods in the first place. Some of it has to do with conditions, human conditions, poverty and that type of thing. Some of it has to do with the size of cookware that you happen to have. That might be why somebody makes a certain family recipe the way that they do. But when we look at traditional pairings of flavors, to me, they probably originated and became the most popular because they were the most appealing to the palate. And you can make the case that some of this stuff probably was not super, the Reaper obviously didn't exist, but a lot of this wasn't super visible. You couldn't, there was times when I was a kid even, there was times of the year you couldn't get pineapple at the grocery store. You couldn't get peaches at the grocery store at all. Not even out of season expensive ones, period. You could not get them at all, at any level. So some of these things might not have been tried in this way specifically, but I don't think, not speaking to this hot sauce anymore, in general, I don't think a lot of things are left uncovered. You know, I think the phrase "nothing new under the sun" is pretty accurate. And to come back around to this sauce, this one, like I said, just to me, it seems really confused. It has just a sort of almost kitchen sinky approach to it, and maybe its identity is just supposed to be hot. And as far as heat goes, there's heat there, but it's only a 2. Like, I don't even know. So it's, to me, I don't know that non-chili heads are going to be super challenged by this. You know, I think that they would probably taper back how much sauce you're using. Like, I used quite a bit of it here in this video, and that partially is contributing to the heat. But, you know, if they're sensitive to heat and they're making their way up the ladder a bit, then they can just dial back how much of this that they're actually having at any one time. And I don't know if they would be super challenged by that. So yeah, I'm mystified. I don't know where this is meant to go. It is such a odd combination of flavors and ingredients that to me it's kind of drifting in nowhere land. And you know, at this point I tested it quite a bit, and probably at the conclusion of this video I'm not going to continue on with it. So definitely I think HAB has some interesting sauces, and I'm imagining I probably will be doing a few more of them out of the lineup if I can find them. But this one, I guess, maybe I'll just say it's a little bit too eclectic for yours truly, and just leave it there. So there you have it, the HAB sauce Machismo Reaper hot sauce.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.